Boom! And I am live. What's good? It's your boy, Elliot Truth. I know it's been a while. I've been off doing an assortment of different things, doing a lot more of my music again, which is my superhuman rapping lyrical ability. Typically, kind of like if you took Alex Jones and Immortal Technique and you combined them together, you'd have something approximating what Elliot Truth is. But that aside, I am just going to come on here and just do a regular old live stream. I want to talk about the post-political reality that we're now in, and how certain trends, I guess, the way that all the trends have kind of manifested have basically tilted the winds towards basically eroding away the political parties so that they are just so desolate they really have no meaning. And I think one of the things that did this was COVID, and you saw figures like Rogan, Jimmy Doer, kind of basically just straddle that line in between the left and the right. And it's to the point where it really doesn't have a whole lot of meaning anymore. Anyhow, I'm going to go into that. I have an ass ton of clips to show you that are cool and you will enjoy. I have something, laughter's the best medicine. So I have something very special to play. Even if you've already seen it once, it's absolutely worth watching again. Just so you know, if you see my shirt here, I made these shirts. First of all, this shirt is, your guy, one of the, arch villains or stars, depending on how you look at it, Mr. Klaus Schwab. And he's got, the infamous quote, "You will own nothing and be happy." This is art that I made. If you want to see this and all my other shirts, you can find them at datastormtruth.com. So definitely make sure that you check those out. This is a very good segue because Klaus Schwab has actually become a very internationally famous pop star, rivaling Britney Spears even. So you need to actually see this. If you have not laughed in a while, this is definitely going to be for you. So just stay tuned.
Nothing and be happy.
But this one is gonna make your modified mRNA tingle. Time Lies presents Greatest Schwabs, Volume 15. A New World Order in music.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the unvaccinated are still alive. A little bit of Pfizer in my arm. A little bit of BioNTech does no harm. A little Johnson Johnson does the trick. A little AstraZeneca so you don't get sick. It's booster number 5. Let's talk about Vax, baby. Let's talk about Doc Fauci. Let's talk about all the weird and countless side effects, maybe. Let's talk about Vax. Let's talk about Vax a little. Come and take the 7th shot. The 7th shot. With a little luck you get my. Oh! Myocarditis. You won't have to be rich. With CBDC, you'll have all you need with central currency. We just take your extra wealth and your cash. And you can walk 500 steps, but not a single step more until the curfew activates and robot cops stand at your door. Just a small town boy drinking genetically modified soy. This ensures he doesn't procreate.
So great.
Please stop bleeding.
Stop the bleeding.
We are almost 9 billion people. Please stop bleeding right now. Then start a Pfizer. We just made you take it, even if you hate it.
Greatest Schwabs, Volume 15. Now available on Spotify and MRN Apple Music.
All the caterpillar tastes like chicken eating vine. And mealworm tastes just like a steak. Ain't nothing better than a deep-fried butterfly or centipede protein shake. Be sure to check the cricket McNuggets out. They're almost as crunchy as worms. And chew your Great Grasshopper sandwich extra loud. 'Cause this is all you get. I don't care who you are, where you're from, don't care what you want, you will eat the guards. No, nothing.
Great.
And be happy.
Comes a brand new collection of hit songs from our beloved Supreme Leader. Time Lies presents The Great Here Set, Volume 14.
Everybody, jab your body light. Vaccines back, all right. 1, 2, 3 and to the 4. Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates is at the door. Ready to put a patent on air and glass. 'Cause we're about to greatly set your ass. It's like this and like that and like this and that. So just chill till the next pandemic.
I love it.
Digital identity. You should have until 2030. No discussion, for it is mandatory. You will see 15-minute city. 15-minute city, stay close to home. 15-minute city. 15-minute city, or we'll send our drone. You better comply, you better watch out, you better implant that microchip now. Santa Claus is running the town. Every meal you make, every bite you take, every single lunch with a crispy crunch, you will.
Hey, Tingle. Time Lies presents.
So that was a Snick a Lick, I believe, is the Twitter handle. It was in the lower right-hand corner. That did some really amazing stuff with AI, making some songs, and then making Klaus Schwab the #1 star of all of those. So I thought that was massively hilarious. And I wanted to show that to you guys because that was probably the hardest that I have laughed in, I don't know, a long, long time. But I have a whole bunch of clips that I am going to get to here in a moment. But I just want to kind of set the table for that. Now, I think it's really been interesting because, you know, we ask, you know, what liberals have turned into today, modern liberals or left-wingers, progressives, whatever you want to call them. They don't really represent, quote unquote, liberal ideals almost in the slightest whatsoever. Liberal ideals are Enlightenment ideals that came out of the Enlightenment, you know, that were developed primarily in Europe, freedom of speech, you know, egalitarianism, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, they're certainly not for freedom of speech. They're for censorship in most cases. And egalitarianism, yes, but you'd have to distinguish between equality of opportunity and, you know, equality of outcome. And obviously, they just really don't care. They want to use the government as the kind of long arm to just hammer out those social justice wrongs that they see in the world, which, you know, bypasses the hierarchy. So we've been kind of disillusioned because we've been like, wow, I mean, you know, do liberals really stand for anything at all? But there has been this other group of disillusioned. I don't know if I would call them, left wingers. I mean, a lot of them are actually pushing Trump, so we're in a post-political reality. You're either working for the establishment or you're representing the people. Some people, they have, I'm talking about figures like Jimmy Dore and Joe Rogan. And then other people like the guy that runs the Gray Zone. I cannot remember what his name is, but he's always cooking people. Dude, I wish I had the clip. It was actually on Jimmy Dore's show a little while ago. Guy that runs the Gray Zone absolutely obliterated Rachel Maddow on what? The whole Trump-Russian collusion nonsense. And, he's supposedly a left-winger. So this breaks the matrix. And if you ask me, this is a great thing. This is positively wonderful because all this stupid, phony left-right paradigm really is just a means of being able to get us to be played off against one another. And it works tremendously well for that. Another one is the whole issue with Israel, and then, that whole attack, everything else with Palestine, Gaza, Palestinians in Gaza, all that stuff. That's definitely breaking down the lines as well. And if you've heard what Gen Z has, which is their sudden change of heart regarding Osama bin Laden, then that's highly interesting. I'd say it's mostly a bad thing. Mostly, I'm not really surprised at all because unlike other people, I don't just watch political content, where it's just boomers and Generation X people just talking about stuff. I actually watch a lot of the other shows with younger people. So I have no disillusions about the average amount of knowledge that a Gen Z person is walking around with, which is positively frightening. I mean, Gen Z can't tell time. I mean, they can't give you any kind of directions. They should be good with technology, but they're not. It's not totally their fault. And, to their credit, it's not all of them. But generally speaking, the gap of intelligence, the drop off, the disparity of intelligence between, we'll say, at least the millennials and the Gen Z is gargantuan. And it's because the Gen Z is dumber. So yeah, you have to see some of those videos. Anyhow, them embracing Osama bin Laden, because they read this 2-page letter that he wrote. It's back in, I think it was back in the 90s. It was probably pre 9/11, it was basically explaining that exactly. And only thing that I could think of was, I'm just glad they actually read something. Yeah, it might have only been 2 pages, but compared to what I've seen them doing before, that was actually an element of progress. So I don't want to blow my voice out too much. I've been doing this a lot. I've got an asinine, I've got a very large tranche of clips that I want to basically show and kind of illustrate where I'm coming from. And I realized that this isn't necessarily something that's going to actually change the whole game, because at this point, the system is so utterly corrupt. I feel like this might be a little too close. I feel like I might be over projecting a bit. Let me know in the chat if that's the case. I feel like this has just, I can't remember what I'm saying. But let me go ahead and basically, I'm going to show you these clips that tell you what I am talking about. Welcome. Facts.
Voting for Donald Trump is up. There you have it, folks. The man who based his career on pretending to be a black guy is finally listening to the black community and leaning the
They made it safe for him. They made it safe.
although that goofy bug could break the clock. That broken clock is twice a day. And here's the first one you've ever seen. He's got one more to go, but it's 12 hours away. Pig dick. Who knows?
Probably.
All that time I spent reading the Stormy Daniels book. Oh, I don't know, maybe it was. But this looks like Operation. Look on here again.
No.
When it comes down to pig dick Donald Trump, it's smoking Joe Biden. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Voting for pig dick Donald Trump is on the table. I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry. I'll still call him swamp dick Donald Trump, pig dick Donald Trump, and all that. But we need to get this whole fucking situation under control. Maybe he was the movie he was in called Do the Right Thing and watch it backwards or something. But first off, I didn't know what that was. I thought he was upset with. I thought it was he was upset with Joe Biden over his support of Israel.
Oh, by the way, if you didn't know, why this is kind of relevant is because Jimmy Doer is a total left winger. I mean, I wouldn't call him like a communist or whatever, but he's, I mean, he voted for, he was a Bernie Sanders supporter. He used to be on the Young Turks. He used to actually be a part of the Young Turks, which is like the biggest crazy left-wing network. But I mean, even Anna Kasparian, the host that's still on there, is kind of saying like, okay, the left wing, which is not really the left wing, as I was talking about earlier. It's just the left-wing fascist wing of the establishment to basically usher in the Great Reset. And Jimmy Dore is talking about the Great Reset. He's talking about the New World Order. He's talking about how they're controlling on the energy. He's tapping into a lot of the key issues. And why that's good is because he was from the exact demographic that was basically put out there to oppose us. And we have now recruited him basically onto our side. False equivalency, Kurt, I think.
They go, if he put this out, if you're not called a racist at least once a day online, you're on the wrong side of it. Well, now you tell me. Racist to vote for Trump. Apparently Trump's on the right side of history. Isn't that something how they flip and flop like this? So Can't Handle the Truth Box says, here he is going insane, blaming the genocide of Palestine, not building shelters. Palestine, not building shelters. Think I'm kidding? This is a full mental breakdown. So let's watch this. Here we go.
You actually think that Israel, the IDF, just randomly went into a hospital? You actually, what am I asking you actually? Somebody actually think that there's no hostages since October 7th? Somebody actually think that was staged? Somebody actually think the Holocaust didn't exist?
Somebody actually think Building 7 was blown up? Some of you actually think that Dick Cheney.
It's like, how dare you have the God to actually think it? It's the whole mental sheep pen, where it's like these are the things you're allowed to think, and then if you step outside of that, you get like the sheepdog, not like the good sheepdog, but like if you're a sheep and a farmer or whatever, it's like doesn't allow you to step outside of that controlled perimeter of things you're allowed to say and allowed to think and like. And that is it. Jimmy Dore is calling it out. He's understanding that whole entire paradigm, and he's taking it out to a gigantic audience that's not hardly heard it before, and he's melting away the old mechanisms of polarization and divide and conquer, and basically, just getting us to go against one another. That's what this whole entire thing is. The New World Order and the Great Reset is going to, and of course, I don't even know, man. I was going to say a disclaimer. I don't know. That's what's behind, this trash that's in the Middle East. So you have to think deeper than just being tribal and then taking sides and then rooting for it like it's a football game. Nothing. Right. What's up with that laugh?
There's no bomb shelters in Gaza for Israel. Obviously, there's bomb shelters in people, children, families who were ripped out of their bomb shelters.
All right, yeah, that's enough of Michael Rappaport. You get the idea with him. So we got to look at this other. Moving on with this, there's a Generation Z component to all of this, and evidently, they all decide that they like Bin Laden now or whatever. And I think this makes a very good point about Generation Z, because Generation Z is the too long didn't read generation a lot of times, TLDR, because they don't understand nuance in a lot of things. They have a whole very, very, very big problem with that on a whole. Everything's an existential crisis. Not having toilet paper is an existential crisis, right? For Gen Z.
It's almost like these people don't realize that this happened to us. This is just peak insanity that social media can somehow convince these socialist types to suddenly send for Osama bin Laden. Because it wasn't like a precision attack on the people in power that do bad things. No, any one of these people on TikTok could have been working in a building or taking a flight that day, and somehow a Chinese social media algorithm has convinced them they would cause the crossfire.
There's a big thing with TikTok. I really suspect that TikTok has been specifically weaponized by I would say intelligence agencies, but I mean, there's not really much of that definition even in China. Their whole entire government operates like, the way that our clandestine agencies would. So yeah, I mean, I really have a suspicion that TikTok is just taking certain trends, magnifying those trends, making those, increase and go viral and stuff like that. And then also suppressing the other content, because we know from the TikTok Chinese version, because there's a Chinese version of TikTok that you can only use if you're actually inside China, and it favors all of the intellectual content and downgrades all of the other stuff. Basically, it does the exact opposite for what it promotes, because I mean, it's robbed us of our souls. And I don't even know if that's hyperbole anymore.
Osama was going after the same people in the country that they are now. He wrote about the mistreatment of his people by America. Now let's be clear. America just this week will convince certain Chinese leaders into immoral things to those same people. Our country went to great lengths to ensure his protection during his visit, and he was given what looks like a hero's welcome. Our country.
Yeah, did you guys see that? What happened with China when China came to, China came, like the whole country? No, sorry. When Xi Jinping, the president of China, the CCP commander, came to the United States and was greeted by Biden. And it was in LA? I don't know. It was in California, someplace in California. And, they cleared off the streets in record time, even though it's just been awash with, crackheads flopping around like fish for like the past decade. But they managed to clean it up in a couple of days, because obviously, I mean, you have U.S. soldiers holding the Chinese flag. I mean, that's very, very, very intentional. Obviously, you can tell that we've been conquered, and we've already knew that for a long time. It's not specifically just the Chinese, but who knows, all the other deals back and forth. Joe is specifically seems like he is compromised by the Chinese. If you've heard about some of the funny voicemails that the guy, Hunter Biden, seems to be getting, then you might understand that. Anyhow, totally crazy that happened. Also crazy. I mean, I don't know if you don't know that. Like the way they've given all of the other United States patents, the way we've just had a completely laxed posture for China coming in and just stealing all of our intellectual property, learning how to build all the stuff that was built with American U.S. innovation, and the open penetration of psychologically information weapons like TikTok. I mean, the amount of tinkering we hear by the Chinese CCP party within the United States is off the charts. I mean, a lot of people kind of like get obsessed, and they're like, think like Israel is doing a lot of stuff. And I will say that they're not wrong. And, I mean, APAC has an absurd amount of influence over just different lobbying arms. I mean, opposing APAC is just like almost like career suicide in DC. It's kind of sad. I am so getting hoarse now. It's just not good talking too much. But anyhow, I don't know. I don't know that it's attacking us in the same overt way that we're getting affected by China and the CCP. Anyhow, getting into those kind of false paradigm, tribal mindsets of just this group versus that group's not the way to go. So I don't mean to tangent off into that, but it's just crazy. There's so many groups that say, "Oh, it's all this group or all that group," and you really just got to like think things through with nuance. But anyhow. Did you catch what he said there? Yes, you didn't, because I didn't catch it hardly because it was too fast. But yes, the whole reason why, I mean, 60 to 70% of the reason why they're doing this is because they realize that it's a hot topic. They jump on trends and they want more followers. They want to increase, they want to make viral videos, or they want to have a chance in doing it. That's it.
Computer algorithm teaching our citizens what is right and wrong is a terrifying thought. But back to his letter from 2002, he had several calls for people to come to his very conservative religion, where he denounces several of the major pillars of the modern day liberal. It's just convenient how they ignored that part of the letter just because he opened up with America bad and some keywords they like.
Yeah, so how many of the people who are making videos about Osama bin Laden are also saying that they reject the whole LGBTQ flag, all of that stuff? How many of the people, because it's pretty much the people that are jumping on one trend are usually jumping on the other trends. So, you know, when you don't want to see hypocrisy, you don't see hypocrisy.
Twitter or X.com, Bin Laden is trending alongside the Taylor Swift tour. But people call out that these TikTok types are just anti-America no matter what. The platform is just used to propagandize the American left, and how he was once an asset of the U.S., so they're oddly coming full circle and rooting for America. Now, I'm not going to go too far.
That's insane.
I wonder how malleable people's minds are when locked in a closed loop. The same thing with TikTok all pushing people to one side of the discussion. Twitter's more open to always pull people to the other side of that discussion. It's almost like certain ideas can only exist through censorship and algorithmic manipulation, because others are now saying this has to be on purpose, saying China is using this application against us, calling for TikTok to be banned in the U.S. with a majority of people supporting the idea. Now, although I dislike TikTok, I'm always 100% against limiting speech. TikTok can push some stupid stuff, so we should be able to see it and call it out. If these people are simple enough to be swayed by performative activism, why not give them a platform to broadcast who they really are? And keep in mind, last time the U.S. tried to ban TikTok, they tried adding in all sorts of terrible things that they didn't call speech, all under the umbrella of some people in this country point out that America does bad things too. And I agree that we have history. It's just not to the point that I would sympathize with people that want to eliminate me and my loved ones just because they're angry at the leaders that I didn't even vote for. I just think that they've managed to make it so trendy to cry about victimhood that TikTokers will actually make it become one. So if you appreciate my lighthearted commentary on the tragic status of today's reality, hopefully
that's Decoy Voice. Shout out to Decoy Voice. Yeah. The whole situation at the border, that's pretty insane. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but there was a family who came in to the United States into New York from Venezuela, and they got there and they said, forget it, we're going back. This place sucks. There's no American dream here. I just have to sleep on the freaking streets, and I'm doing better in Venezuela than I am in New York. So yeah, that's kind of a bad thing, but kind of a good thing too. So don't get too black-pilled and just think that it's all just going to be over and drama and stuff like that, because evidently, when things get so bad, it's like they can't invade you with any more people because they were doing better in their home country already. Anyhow, I am going to jump off here. I'll be back soon with another live stream.